Race number 18, and it's the third and final heat for Minimax. Let's have a look at your starting grid. So, Mies Huben will start on pole position. Alongside will be Lithuania's Markas Silkunas. Then it's Jakub Gasparovic and Matej Radenkovic alongside each other on row number 2. Tom Strehler and Lawrence Herbols rounds out row 3. Romeo Roussel and Tom Langlois, row 4. Jules Avril and Nikita Nikishov rounds out the top 10, completing the 19-strong grid. Matthias Jalerup, Paul Grisel, Ryan Bourguignon, Mats van Rooyen, Igor Krzyzewski, Jakub Kubera, Aloysius Sekavicius, Jake Menton, and Nick Vandenberg. And already we have had dramas. That is for the 1, 2, let's just have a look, 1, 2, 9. And unfortunately, Nick Vandenberg is going to be sitting by the sidelines, I'm afraid. He'll be a very happy young man on that particular occasion, but it's still the pre-finals and the finals. Sometimes finals day brings every single kind of situation to the surface. And here at Karting Genk, it's no different. So 7 minutes on the clock, plus an additional lap. So the weather is very much closing in. And there is a slight sprinkling of water. It's still making it difficult for the drivers out there. However, right. I've just spotted something happening because the Brollies are out on some of the Marshall posts. Marshall Post 2 has just put theirs up off of the Europolan off of turn 7. They've just put theirs up. The one over by the exit of turn number 8. There is still a bit of a breeze. The GKS, the Karting Genk and the Home of Champions banners off of the Europolan are quite literally being pummeled by the wind. I can see why Markas Silkunas was trying to warm up a little bit. These might be specific race suits that have to comply with CIK FIA regulations, but even they cannot keep out the cold. And Lawrence Herbols literally lights up the rear tyres going through the outside of turn number 10. Okay, red lights on the starting gantry once again. Third and final Minimax heat here at the Golden Trophy. We are set to go into battle. Just a few more races to go and then everyone can have a bit of a respite. People watching from the gantry and from the grandstands off of the podium. And now the drivers make their way through turn number 12. Floodlights ablaze, sunset not too far away. Into the tram lines, revs rise, we are lights out and racing. And Mies Huben gets the good start as always. There's sideways and turning around and around and around. That is the 191. That is Jakub Gasparovic. Yellow flags off of Marshall post number 1. And drivers are really having to fight tooth and nail. Mies Huben, in the meantime, has lost out on the lead because Tom Strehler is in first, Romeo Roussel in second. I think that's Lawrence Herbols in third, as now, they're all going wide, coming out of turn number 6 to get the whole shot, get the traction down. And this says to me that the signs are ominous. The weather is fast coming in. But these drivers are going to just have to just grin and bear it and go for broke. They've got to just really keep their wits about them. Eyeballs on stalks. As a bit of a run wide by Romeo Roussel coming out of turn number 9. Sideways from Herbols as Huben has to jink to the left-hand side to keep out of the way. Radenkovic in 5th. As the 104 Jules Avril takes a wide line going through turn 10. Some drivers using the curb. And now they floor it coming out of turn number 11. And Mies Huben flies past Lawrence Herboz on the inside, and then Herboz back up the inside through turn number 12, and Huben goes side by side for third position, up into turn 2, and Huben has kept ahead for the minute, having to use a wider line. But Tom Strehler and Romero Roussel battling away over the lead, as we still have time left on the clock, but they are completely sideways. The amount of opposite lock, Tom Strehler complete understeer into turn 6 and has to wait for the rear tyres and the front tyres to bite down on the tarmac, and gets a good run into the Europolan, but Roussel now leads on lap number 2 going through turn 7. Jake Menton's made some significant progress. He started 18th and now he's in 9th place. 9 places gained in 2.5 minutes. And you know what's even more interesting about this situation? Matej Radenkovic has at the moment no answer. Because the biggest thing is they are all, if memory serves me correctly from when I had a look on the pre-grid, they were all on slick tyres. They have chanced it. And they've had to go with that decision. And look, you can see the mechanics on the stand just off of turn number 12, just saying, like giving all the signs, just saying, come on, just, I don't know what they all mean, but there is some mechanic driver jargon that is normally used through hand signals, as Jake Menton loses a lot of momentum going through into turn number 2, and just behind Marcos Sulcunas now down in 10th position ahead of Ryan Bourguignon in the 145. And there is Nikita Nikishov from Spain, the only Spanish entrant here this weekend. And there was sparks flying from the bottom of the chassis as the 120 ended up on the curbs. And yellow flags, we've had someone spin around. And that is the 112, I'm afraid. The 172, and that is Sekavicius from Lithuania. And it's just all... some people are just able to just put that traction down. And the driver at the front of this crowd has just managed to get through turn 9 pretty well. That looks like... just wondering whether that might be Sulcunas that has just done that. Not too sure, probably not the case. But it's a driver, that could be Jakub Kubera from the Czech Republic that had just managed to get the traction, the whole shot coming through the exit of turn 9, planted the throttle down, and the rear tyres gripped, bit into the tarmac, pushed the kart forward, and then went understeering into turn 10. There is Jellerup from Denmark, Radenkovic from Belgium, the 171 of Giselle, followed by Avril. And Avril was looking up the inside through turn 6 onto the Europolan. There's more overtakes happening. Mats van Rooyen was in the thick of that, the 103 from the Netherlands up the inside. He would have been with the likes of Kuzinski and Nikishov from Poland and Spain, respectively. But 1 minute and 45 seconds still to go. Roussel leads the way. Tom Strehler in second, Mies Huben in third, Lawrence Herboz in fourth, Jellerup from Denmark in 5th place as things stand. Radenkovic still in 6th and is no way near getting a 3rd victory. As Huben up the inside of Strehler, as that was close. Tom Strehler trying to turn the kart in, hit the pedal to the metal and lit up the rear tyres. Huben went up the inside, but then all of a sudden Strehler got the switch back, and Lawrence Herboz has managed to get through past Mies Huben up into P3, and it looks like Herboz has managed to get through on Strehler. So Herboz now up into 2nd position. This is one for the books, as Herboz has to really counter steer against that drifting well, the drifting that's happening when the driver's trying to modulate the throttle coming through turn 11, and it spools up the rear tyres, and when the track is slick, that's not going to bite fully. And as now Tom Strehler back up the inside through on Lawrence Herbols into turn 2, and the pair just have a little bit of a touch, and that has given Mies Houben the opportunity to get back up into second position, and Mies Houben was waiting to see what happened. He bided his time, did the young Dutchman. Again, you can just see that when they're turning in, the front end is not biting on these carts. The tyres are not having any of it, and you try and turn the cart in, the cart will feel like it's understeering, and it's also moving forward, carrying that momentum through the corner. And the amount of correction that Mies Houben is putting in right now, like say if he's going through a left-hander, he's having to use a bit of right hand down counter steer to compensate for it. But we're going to go on to the final lap of this Minimax Heat 3, and it's France's Romeo Roussel that leads the way by a country mile ahead of Mies Houben. Sparks flying from the undercarriage of the chassis for Lawrence Herbols. Tom Strehler from Latvia rounds out the top 4. There's going to be an almighty gap between Strehler and Jellerup from Denmark. Radenkovic still in 7th. Paul Grisel, Radenkovic in 6th. Grisel in 7th. Avril in 8th. Van Rooyen, Bourguignon, Silkunas, Nikishov, Kuzinski, Menton, Kubera. That is your top 15. Gasparovic and Vandenberg are out of the race early, as Avril up the inside of the 171 of Grisel through turn number 6 on the final lap. As our leaders now coming through into turn 10 for the final time this afternoon here on Heats Day. It was 2 wins for one Matej Radenkovic, but it looks like there's going to be a new winner on Heats Day, and that driver, who's it going to be? Out of the final corner, congratulations, Romeo Roussel from France, who takes Heat 3 in Minimax by just under 3.5 tenths ahead of Mies Houben. And Roussel started 7th. Houben started on pole position. Herbols from Belgium started down in 6th, finished in 3rd place. But Roussel capitalised. Radenkovic not really having an answer, and finishes down in 6th position. It just goes to show that if a little bit of adverse conditions come your way, you react accordingly. As there's the top 2, full course yellow conditions as the checkered is out. So as our drivers head into scrutineering and the pit lane, there is Romeo Roussel from France. A little bit of a fist bump to himself, saying, yes, I've done that one. Mies Houben in 2nd, Lawrence Herbols, Tom Strehler, Matthias Jellerup from Denmark, Matej Radenkovic in 6th ahead of Jules Avril, Mats van Rooyen from the Netherlands in 8th ahead of Paul Grisel and Ryan Bourguignon, rounding out the top 10. Marcus Silkunas, Nikita Nikishov, Igor Kuzinski, Jake Menton, Jakub Kubera, Tom Longnois, and Aloysius Sekavicius from Lithuania rounded out the 17 that finished the race, and retirements from both Jakub Gasparovic and Mick Vandenberg.